Hey, what's up guys? This is Frontier Resolution and I'm Randy Puff. I'm a photographer, a videographer, a traveler, and of course a rising star. Now today I just want to talk about two different things. One being I've got another travel video coming up because I'm going on a trip next week over up to Silver Lake Sand Dunes, which is phenomenal. And I'll get a little bit into that after, in a little bit. The second thing is I want to talk about a topic that really gets up in people's grill, which is the prices that I charge for, photos or videos. So I'm just going to get a little bit into why I charge the amount I charge and why other photographers charge what they charge. So, let's get into it. Okay, so as I stated, I've got another travel video coming out, and it's gonna be me going up Silver Lake Sand Dunes, and I think it's nice for me to get a little bit more creative. With my last travel video, I went to a museum, I looked at a little bit of art, and right next door happened to be like a very nice garden, and it was just a very nice experience overall. The only problem was, I didn't really get any information on the time that the garden was built, and I didn't really get any information on the art pieces there, so it would have been nice to give a little bit more information to the audience besides just being like, I guess, how do you call it, ignorant of like what I'm walking into. Because you walk into a museum, an art museum, and you look at the art and you see it for what it is, but you don't really look at the history, and so you're just kind of blind as to the meaning and purpose of the art. So I want to get a little bit better with that, giving the information, finding out history and all that. So this video will be nice. I can get a little bit of history on the sand dunes, the different, like how the sand dunes got created and all that stuff. So it's a nice opportunity, and I'm kind of excited for it because my girlfriend will be coming up with me along with my family. So it's just, I'm excited. Anyways, second topic, I want to talk a little bit as to why photographers and videographers charge the prices that they charge for their work. For those who don't know, I'm a photographer and a videographer. I shoot for weddings, senior photos, pretty much anything that you could think of. I've even done some car videos here and there. The problem is trying to get customers to find your prices appealing and making them want to come back every single time. The thing that really gets people though are the prices, and I will admit they can be very expensive sometimes. For like senior photos, I usually charge anywhere from like $200 to $400. It depends on the amount that the amount of photos that you're wanting, the amount of traveling I'm gonna have to do. Usually I'm towards the cheaper side. I do $250. And for like weddings, I go anywhere from like $700 all the way to $1,500. Also, once again, it depends on how much I'm traveling, how much work I'm doing. It all depends on that. With videos, it's a little bit more pricier just because it's a video. You're getting about 3 to 5 minutes of footage, which usually I'm shooting in 4K, and it takes a long time just to edit 1 minute of footage. Because you have to add on all the color grading, the different effects that they're wanting. And once again, it all depends on the travel that you're having to do, the amount of travel that you're having to do, the amount of editing, the time spent, and all that. So with that said, I'm going to get a little bit into why I charge the prices that I charge. So, let's start off with the basics. First of all, most importantly, I charge the prices I charge because I've been doing photography and videography for the past 6 years. I first started off working in my church. I would volunteer to record the church services, then it slowly transitioned into recording videos for different events that the church had, like veterans picnics or just events in general. Then after that, they started slowly paying me to do different things for them. Create little skits for videos that they would project in the church service. And then after that, I bought my own camera and I started doing my own work for other people. So over the past 6 years, I've gotten quite a bit of experience. That's always an important factor. I mean, you're gonna be charging a professional photographer that's been doing it longer is gonna charge you more, and you're gonna be willing to pay more because they know what they're doing, versus someone who just got into photography and they're new at it. You're not going to pay them to screw up your photos, Not only that, But the other thing to consider when it comes to pricing is the amount of time that you're spending on the photos or videos. Usually videos take a lot longer to edit than photos just because they're videos. You have to pay attention to every second of that video. You have to pay attention to the flaws, imperfections, all that stuff, and you have to find a way to perfect it, make it look better, make it look appealing. So it just, all that time that you're spending with color grading and placing on effects, it takes time. It takes, and you know, could possibly take up to weeks, depending on how long the footage is or how many photos you have to edit. Usually for me, for senior photos, it takes 1 to 3 days to edit them. Usually I create my own presets, that way they automatically change the photos, color balance, the lighting and everything. So it lowers the amount of work that I have to do, and it's very helpful. With videos, I can also create presets, but depending on your customer, color grading can differ each time. So yeah. Not only that, but equipment, let's get into equipment, is very expensive. I mean, photography in general is very expensive. If you're wanting to get into it, you're gonna have to invest quite a bit. When I first started off, I got the Canon, what was it? I think, give me a second, I gotta look this up. Okay, I looked it up. It was a Canon T6. It was a very basic beginner camera. I paid like, I think it was $600 for it, just because I wasn't sure if photography and videography was something that I was going to get into. So I was just playing it safe. I bought a cheap camera, that way I could just kind of experiment. Now from there, as I got better, I was like, okay, I gotta upgrade my equipment. So my camera costs, the one that I have now, when I finally upgraded, I got the EOS RP, which was, I guess, the cheaper version of the Canon EOS R. They're professional cameras. Mine cost over $2,200, and that was just for the camera body, not the lens included. The lens itself cost $600, and that's for a 24 to 105 millimeter, which is what I'm using right now. Plus, I had an adapter that I had to get on the camera, that way I could put the lens onto the camera body, which cost another $100. So that there, I was spending, how much is that? $2,200, $600, $800, and then $900. I was spending nearly $3,000 on just an entire camera body, like with everything included. Not only that, but I also have the 50 millimeter camera lens, which cost another $100. So that there is just, I've got the basics for taking normal photos out in, you know, outdoor lighting. That doesn't cover getting creative and making your photos look a little bit more professional, like adding a flash and lighting. After that, I've got a camera bag. It's a small one. Let me grab it. It's like this size. I'm able to fit about 2 different lenses in there, my camera charger, just everything like my SD card, smaller things. That bag cost $70. I got it discounted for $50, so I got lucky. Not only that, but let's see what else I have. I just bought a light, which cost $75. I just bought a tripod, which cost another $100. And if I were to get like a flash or something, that would be another $200 to $400. It depends on how professional of a lens, a flash you're wanting to get. Someone's calling me. Hold on. Hello?
Where'd you go?
What?
Where did you?
I went to the bank and got a debit card, and then I'm at the church vlogging right now.
So, did you open up a checking account?
Yeah.
So, what time do you plan on being done?
I don't know. In a few minutes here. I don't know. Why? Like an hour and 18 minutes?
An hour and 18 minutes, really? That's awfully specific.
Well, you know, I'm waiting for a video to upload.
Oh.
Anyways, photography and videography is such an expensive hobby and profession. I mean, you have to invest. You can't just go out and buy all the equipment that you need. It's something that takes time. Like for example, for me, I started off with a $600 camera because I didn't have enough money. But as that $600 camera got me a little bit more jobs here and there to do for people, I got more money to buy a newer camera and then end up having to do more jobs to pay off that camera and get newer equipment, and there's just so much time and investment that you have to put into it. And in the end, sometimes it's just really not worth it because you're spending well over $5,000 on equipment. It's ridiculous. And now, for me, I've got a pre-wedding photo shoot to do for someone I know, and I have to buy a new lens because I want to be able to have a little bit sharper and more depth to my photos. So I have to buy a new lens. That's gonna be another $300. It's ridiculous. So anytime, you're getting charged $200 to even possibly $1,500, you have to consider the fact that they are spending not only their time and gas money to come out to edit your photos or take your photos, but their equipment is also taking up a majority of that money that you're paying them. It's absurd. Oh, people just don't get it. Now, I do understand that some photographers and videographers can rip you off, and an example of that is, let's see, a lot of photographers like to leave their watermark on their work, and I understand that. Whenever you're promoting your work, online, like Instagram or on your website, Facebook, all those social media apps, you want to leave your watermark on there. That way people know who the work belongs to, how they can contact you, different stuff like that. But when you as a client are going out to that professional to have them take your photos and you're paying them a pretty penny for it, and they end up leaving the watermark on there, and then they end up charging you double just to take that watermark off, you're being ripped off. I used to have a photography class, and I was talking to my teacher, and he was like, oh yeah, if you want to make more money and you just want to kind of make double the amount, leave the watermark on there and then charge them the same amount that you charge them for those photos to take that watermark off, and then you come out making more than you would have expected. Hearing my teacher say that as a professional photographer kind of showed me, like, okay, you're kind of ripping people off doing that. That's not fair. For me, I tried to give fair prices, a fair amount of photos, and I don't leave the watermark on there. So, I don't know. You gotta be careful who you pick to work with. But at the same time, you have to be understanding as to why they're charging the prices that they're charging you. So, with that said, that's the end of the video. But I also want to take an opportunity to kind of promote my work. So, guys, if you want to hire me as your photographer or videographer, I will leave the link down below to my Instagram and my Facebook. You can check out the work I do, and feel free to contact me. I have no problem coming out to you, giving you a little bit of estimates as to how much it's going to cost you to take those photos or videos. I also do a little bit of graphic design on the side. I've done a few album covers for a band. I had some connections, got in touch with the guy, and I was like, hey, I'm your man. Anyways, feel free to contact me, look over my work, and with that said, that's it. I'll see you guys later.